Hey, what is up, YouTube? Welcome to another video on high altitude investing. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin, and today's chart is really going to be an argument for anybody that is long-term bearish on Bitcoin. Yes, everything's possible, but today we're going to be going over some perspectives and give you a little bit of a different view than what you're normally used to as to why Bitcoin is more bullish in the long term than bearish. And we're going to use trend analysis. We're going to flip and invert the chart. And I'm going to discuss kind of the structure of the market so you understand why Bitcoin is considered to be long-term bullish and why you can identify it as being in a long-term bullish trend. So it's going to be really useful for anybody that is super skeptical or super bearish. And it's going to be also very useful for the people that know Bitcoin is long-term bullish and just want to see more perspective as to why that is the case. So go ahead and hit that like button for me, hit that subscribe button for me, hit that little notification bell, and comment down below where you are tuning in from in the world, and we will get straight into the video here. Okay, so I'm on Bitcoin versus the dollar. This is TradingView, the platform, but it's pulling data from coinmarketcap.com. So the website to do this is charts.cointrader.pro. On here you can look at tons of different coins, and it's very useful to be able to chart them. This is Bitcoin on the weekly time frames, and for the people that are looking at this chart and going, what the heck, that is not Bitcoin, that is because I have clicked over here on the right hand side, and this is Bitcoin on the logarithmic. Normally with the weekly candlesticks, if you do one quick little thing over here on the right hand side and invert the scale, you will quickly find that Bitcoin flips upside down and gives you the other inverted perspective on the chart. Now, the reason that this is useful is if you've been looking at Bitcoin like this every single freaking day for months across end, which I have looked at Bitcoin's chart for a really long time, and I know a lot of other people have too, then you start to get very used to the imagery you're seeing. And your brain kind of gets stuck in these cycles of seeing something in a very specific way, and you may lose some of the alternative perspectives. You might not be able to continue to remain logical when you're seeing the same exact chart over and over and over without adjusting your perspective on it. So this is why time frames are very useful, switching time frames, because it gives you the same chart with a new perspective. This is why switching from the log chart to the linear chart is useful, because it gives you new perspective. This is why checking on the MACD is useful, or occasionally the Ichimoku cloud, or some of those other indicators that I mentioned in one of my more recent videos. So you guys, all of these things are tools and methods for changing your perspective, allowing you to see the chart in a new way that you hadn't before and come to new conclusions and new ideas based on that. So this is Bitcoin on the weekly time frame without the inverted scale. We have this high right here, then we have a low, then we have a higher high, then we have a higher low, then we have a higher high, then we have a higher low. And now we have a higher high in the shorter period of trend right here, meaning that from about here to here, we made a higher high. But we haven't made an all-time higher high yet. So this is consolidation still, considering that we're in a range. We have made this peak right here. We made this low right here. We made this peak right here. And at some point, we're probably going to form some type of basing structure for a low, consolidate, and then see whether we get the follow through on the upside out of this triangle shape, or whether we get the follow through on the downside with a support failure with that same triangle shape, because symmetrical triangles don't care. This would be technically a bullish symmetrical triangle though, because the majority of the trend And then where the triangle started from is on the upside, like we just said. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And then we have a lower high in the bigger time frame. But if we make a higher low, then that gives us that triangle consolidation pattern that Bitcoin is moving in. So what if we take this chart and we invert it and look at it? Well, you can actually see in this case what we would normally call the uptrend is a downtrend now. So this whole move, this upward movement, looks like it's going down, but that kind of tricks your brain into seeing the chart in a new way that maybe you haven't looked at it before. And in doing this, I personally find that the triangle pattern that I've been drawing on Bitcoin becomes a lot more apparent and easy to see. For some reason, when you flip the chart here, it just looks a little easier for your brain to spot that triangle pattern and kind of get and understand what I'm talking about. Now, in this specific case, now this would be called a bearish triangle pattern because we're looking in the chart upside down. But if it plays out, if we do go ahead and have prices find the bottom or whatever around this zone that we're looking at, even if we dip down a little bit further in the 5,000 range, if we do find that bottom pattern, bam, we have a textbook symmetrical triangle just like this playing out, where we have prices come down from a very, very large downtrend in this case since we flipped the chart. But I want you guys to remember that this is Bitcoin. This is technically an uptrend in price. If it breaks low, then that means we're headed to new all-time highs. It'll be 50,000, 30,000. All of those levels are coming if we break this level. So this is the pattern where you have prices fall, consolidate into a triangle, and break down just like that. And that gives you your trading tool, your trading pattern, all right here. And you can see it so much easier for some reason when the chart is flipped upside down. When the chart is up, right side up, people's biases get in the way. They already have their opinion about what's going on in the market. And so they see the chart that they've seen a million different times in a million different ways, and they're like, no, that's bearish or that's bullish, because they don't have a new lens to view, a new perspective to view the market from. So yes, flipping charts upside down is very useful, you guys. This also just looks from a market structure perspective a lot more likely as to what would happen with this huge downward pointing resistance, which is technically an uptrend line if the chart isn't inverted. But yeah, that's the triangle pattern, and it just comes out a lot more pretty on the inverted chart than on the upward chart. So that's what I wanted to show you guys today. It can give you maybe a new perspective on why I think Bitcoin could easily reach 30,000 plus, like I've made in the videos previous to this, and why I think that you guys should be watching Bitcoin on a regular basis, especially as we are reaching these major support levels like the 6,000 level and even this lower support of like the $5,600 level. All of that is support in Bitcoin. Over here it was support, over here it was support, over here it was resistance. So all of this chunk right here is now becoming a chunk where the market can find a new point to flip, a new pivot point, and for the buyers to get replaced with sellers, even though technically if this chart was right side up, it would be the sellers getting replaced with buyers. But now you can see when I flip this chart right side up, kind of that triangle pattern and why I've been seeing it, and it gives you perspective on both directions. So yes, you guys, this is another reason why I think Bitcoin will be bullish, and why I think that, especially once we find support again, why I think that that target that I made in my previous videos of over $30,000 per coin is very reasonable for Bitcoin. That's actually kind of an under target, like a very, very conservative target for what I think will happen if we break out of this market structure. Thank you so much for tuning in today's video. Again, hit that like button for me. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I upload 5 videos a week in the cryptocurrency market, so you guys can go ahead and stay updated with everything that is going on in these exciting times for cryptocurrency. I appreciate and love every single one of you guys, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. And by the way, it is New Year's Eve, so have an enjoyable New Year's tonight, and I'll see you guys on New Year's Day tomorrow. As always, stay profitable out there.